Welcome to another Odds HQ NBA betting preview video. I'm Ian Cameron. It's Sunday, August the 23rd, and it's time for another NBA betting preview video. I'm a little bit conflicted on what I'm supposed to do with that LA Lakers Portland game because I bet it at +8. So for me, it was a push. But I know a lot of you that were watching that video could only get Portland at +7.5 and maybe would have lost with the video best bet from Saturday with the Portland Trailblazers falling 116-108, the game landing right on 8. So I don't know. Do I call it my first loss? I was undefeated going into yesterday. I kind of feel like I'm Regis Philbin right now. May he rest in peace. When he hosted Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, he'd say, let's ask the audience. I feel like I should be doing that with you guys right now. Let's ask the audience. Should I grade that a loss? Should I grade that a push? What do you want me to do with that Portland bet yesterday against the LA Lakers, which came right around the number? Guaranteed you either lost or you pushed, because 8 and 7.5, the number was fluctuating back and forth most of Saturday with the Blazers getting those points against the Lakers. Nevertheless, we'll move on and we'll look at Sunday's action and try to get a winner as opposed to a loss or a push on the board for us on this Sunday card. Let's go to Game 4. Western Conference Quarterfinal. It's the other LA team, the LA Clippers taking on the Dallas Mavericks. We've had a very good read on this series so far. Hopefully that continues here. We've got the LA Clippers, 7.5-point favorite, 232 the total. This game tipping off 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday afternoon. We all know what the big headline news is going into Game 4 of this series. It's losing Luka for the Dallas Mavericks and the potential loss of Luka Doncic heading into Game 4 of this series. We saw what happened in Game 3. He suffered a left ankle sprain injury in the third quarter of Game 3. You saw him limping off to the locker room during the game. He tried his damnedest to come back. You got to admire the heart, the guts, the resilience of the kid, Luka Doncic, to want to, just do everything he could, basically, to get back on the basketball court. And everybody's telling him, you can't do it. I mean, you're just not healthy enough. You're just not going to be able to move around well enough to go back out there. So eventually he had to pack it in and say, you know what, I can't come back out there. But I credit him for even trying to get back and play in that basketball game the other night. We know it's a huge concern for the Dallas Mavericks because they probably are going to find it difficult to win this series without Luka Doncic. But we don't know if he's going to play or not yet for Game 4. He hasn't been ruled out completely. He's currently listed as questionable. Head coach Rick Carlisle saying a very good quote to update the situation. Our game is early on Sunday, which doesn't help things, but we'll see. We've got every advanced treatment modality that you can have, as every team here does. We'll see how this responds in the next several hours. So he's probably going to be a game time decision. That seems to be where this is headed. Whether he'll play or not in Game 4 on Sunday afternoon. The Dallas Mavericks, remember in Game 2, they won that game outright and covered the number, won outright as underdogs, when Luka Doncic didn't play most of the fourth quarter due to foul trouble. And you were starting to wonder, could the Dallas Mavericks, for the second game in a row in Game 3 the other night without Luka Doncic, somehow rally and find a way to win that basketball game? They were not able to do it this time around in Game 3. The Clipper defense was definitely a lot better than it was in Game 2 of this series. They made some key stops down the stretch and really shot the ball a lot better, particularly Kawhi Leonard, who had just an outstanding Game 3 performance. 36 points for him, 9 rebounds, 8 assists as well in the Game 3 win. And he had some good support. We saw Landry Shamet, 18 points. Ivica Zubac, 15 points. Marcus Morris, 14. Montrezl Harrell starting to get more and more, making more and more of an impact and getting more comfortable now on the court with a few games under his belt. He had 13 points. So it was a very good win. Everybody contributing to the Clippers win, 130-122, except one guy in particular that still struggled for the Clippers even in the win. And this is the one fly in the ointment with, all the good feelings for the Clippers of getting the Game 3 win and taking a 2-1 series lead, is the fact that Paul George just can't hit a damn shot right now. I mean, let's put it bluntly. He is having a massive shooting struggle right now for the LA Clippers. 11 points in Game 3, but more than that, it's the shooting percentage. 3 for 16 from the field in Game 3, 1 for 8 from three-point range, And now with game 2 and game 3 combined in this series, Paul George has shot 7 for 33 in those 2 games combined. Obviously he's going to get out of it at some point, but certainly I would warn people out there from a player props perspective, if you're going to bet Paul George over points here in game 4, maybe taking a little bit of a leap of faith, because he's definitely having issues with making his shots right now. It's like any good player. You're going to go through shooting slumps. Everybody has them. Right now, Paul George is in one. So if you want to be proactive and say game 4 is due, you could bet it. But I'm usually someone that likes to bet what I see. And what I see right now is obviously a guy that's lost a little confidence shooting the basketball. So Paul George, obviously they're going to need him down, not only for the rest of this series, but down the road if they advance past the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to need Paul George to play at a very good level for them. So we'll see if he can find his shooting stroke again, maybe starting here in game 4. For the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, we know his status up in the air. Kristaps Porzingis played good, I thought, the last game, and has played pretty good in this series. You got to like what you've seen from Tim Hardaway, from Trey Burke, some of these bench guys, Seth Curry, not Steph Curry, Seth Curry. There's another Curry out there that's playing basketball pretty well right now, and that's Seth Curry for the Dallas Mavericks. They've had some bench guys really step up for them. They did in game 2. Game 3, give the Clippers credit. They didn't let that bench unit and the other starters take over with Doncic sidelined like they did in game 2. But now I think Dallas is going to be one of those teams that comes into this game, whether Doncic plays or not, desperate. They can't go down 3-1 in this series. They absolutely can't. And we're seeing a point spread adjustment for certain, because of Luka Doncic's potential absence for this game. Because the Clippers were a 5 to 6 point favorite in each of the first 3 games of this series. Now they're 7.5 to 8 point favorites here in game 4. The numbers being shaded toward the Clippers for sure, because they know, the public's going to want to bet them with the ankle injury concerns for Doncic and the fact there's still a decent chance he may not even go in this game. I'm not going to be one of those people, though, that is going to lay these inflated points with the LA Clippers. I've had a good read on this series. I took the Clippers in game 1, cashed. I took Dallas in game 2, cashed. I took the Clippers in game 3, cashed. I've been zigzagging my way through this entire series so far. It's worked out from a betting perspective very well, and I'm going to stick with that zigzag pattern here. I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks. Plus 7.5 is the widely available number out there right now on the Dallas Mavericks. There's a lot of things I think that are going for them, and I'm on Dallas regardless. I want to make this very clear. I'm on Dallas here in this game regardless of whether Luka Doncic plays or not. It's worth noting Dallas, an outstanding 11-3 against the spread this season as an underdog of 5 points or more, which of course this falls into. And I talked about it in game 2, or it was one of the things I looked at in game 2. The Dallas Mavericks track record off a loss. It's not just good, it is phenomenal. Dallas this season off a straight up loss, 24-9 straight up, 21-11-1 against the spread in games following a loss this season. That's absolutely, to me, a track record worth riding here in game 4. And even if Luka Doncic doesn't play, I'm going to be on Dallas here, because what could happen if Luka doesn't play? This is an angle that I talk about constantly when it comes to the NBA, the injury angle. When a star player goes down, everybody rises up, everybody pulls up their bootstraps, tries to do a little bit more, and everybody tries to get the job done in that first game without a star player. Everybody plays above their heads. That first game when a star player gets injured. We see it all the time in the NBA, while the opponent kind of lets down. And they get all, oh, this is going to be easy now. Luka Doncic isn't going to play. There's 2, different trains of thought that go into this injury angle. So many times you see it. Oh, this guy's out of the lineup. How's this team going to win? Sure enough, they cover the number and they win without the guy, because everybody steps up. Everybody plays good in that first game without the key player, and the other team takes it for granted. Oh, Luka Doncic isn't in there. It's going to be easier for us. Piece of cake. Doesn't work that way when it comes to the NBA. Give me Dallas, plus 7.5. I don't know about win the game outright, but I think they take this game right down to the wire, and we have a competitive dogfight for 48 minutes here in this pivotal Game 4 between the Mavericks and Clippers. Let's go with Dallas plus 7.5 against the LA Clippers. That's going to be my Sunday NBA betting preview video best bet. I'm Ian Cameron. Thanks for watching. As always, reminder to check out odds.com every day for great sports betting content. And make sure you're subscribed to the Odds HQ YouTube channel for great sports betting live shows and videos on a daily basis. I'll be back with you tomorrow on Monday for another Odds HQ NBA betting preview video best bet.